know some people that would just bring the packets of Mr. Noodles, just eat them, crunch them up, and just eat them right out of the package without putting water on them. Welcome to the Love Ghost and to a special lunch video, not in the truck. And the reason for that is because it's kind of hard to boil water while driving, which will make sense in a second. So I've been thinking about doing this lunch for a long time. Oh, and the kettle's starting to boil. It's getting loud. Maybe I'll just have to wait. Actually, let's turn it off. So I've been thinking about for a while doing like a high school lunch. And the most vivid memory I have of lunches in high school is eating in the science classroom in grade 8 or 8th grade, as you would say in the US. And I had biology 8, which is biology 8 or 8th grade biology. I don't remember the teacher's name, but I remember she would let us do our homework in her classroom at lunchtime. And so I would go down to, it wasn't the cafeteria, it was like a convenience store kind of thing that was run by students, that was separate from the cafeteria, and they had limited things. It was a lot of like chips and chocolate bars and pop and stuff like that, or soda. But they sold Mr. Noodles, just like this one. Good old Mr. Noodles. This exact one. I mean, the packaging is updated. There we go. The packaging is updated since then, but it's basically the same thing. I would get the Mr. Noodles. I would get the small can of Pringles. No, we didn't have any of the small cans. They still sell them, I think, at the gas stations, but we didn't have any. We happened to have some of these kinds, so I just grabbed 2. So that's about the same as what a small can of Pringles is. And then I would always get a Nestea, which doesn't exist anymore because Fuse iced tea took over somewhat recently. So that would be my lunch. And I think it was around $3 for all of it. Maybe $2.50. I can't remember. I remember asking my parents for a couple of loonies to buy lunch. If you're unfamiliar, a loonie is a $1 coin in Canada. So, anyway, I'm going to turn the kettle back on. It might get a little bit loud, so I can boil the water. While I'm waiting for it to boil, I'm going to open. So you open this up halfway. So what would happen is you would buy the soup at the store thing, and they would do this part for you. Really loud, sorry. Just waiting for the kettle to boil. You can tell when it's almost boiling because it gets quieter. I put too much water in it. I shouldn't have filled it up. It so it wouldn't take as long. Almost there. So I'm gonna pour the water in up to the line. You probably can't see it, but there's a little grease in there in the cup. So you fill it up. There we go. Very carefully, so I don't get water on my desk. Okay. And then you take the fork and you poke it through. And the fork holds the lid closed. So, like I started to say before the kettle got loud, is what you would do is you pay for it, and then they would put the water in and stick the fork in it and hand it to you. And then you could go to wherever you were going to go to eat it, and while you were walking, the noodles would cook. So that's what I would do. And it was like, they were older at the high school I went to. It's not like this anymore, but then it was just high school. It was elementary school and then high school. There was no middle school. So it was grade 8 to 12 in one school. So I was obviously in grade 8 then. And the students that were running the store were the grade 12 business students. It was like a business class that you could take as an elective. And part of the business class was running the store at lunchtime as a business. So that's what they would do. Anyway, so I would take my lunch and I would go to the science classroom. And I would eat my lunch and do my homework. So that way I didn't have to do it when I got home. And I would eat my Pringles while I waited for the soup to cook. I had a couple of friends that sometimes would do the same thing. I didn't do it every day. But, once or twice a week. Especially if I had homework that was due in the afternoon that I hadn't done yet. These Pringles taste the same. Don't worry, I got my coaster. I would also always get an iced tea. In a can. That tastes the same too. Probably not the healthiest lunch. Just, noodles and potato chips, but it worked. Let's see how it's doing. Noodles are getting there. Need a little bit longer. There we go. Anyway, how about you? What were your go-to lunches when you were in high school? Or if you're still in high school? We lived in couple different places while I was in high school. So some of the years I was able to walk home sometimes, depending. But it was like I'd have just enough time to walk home, make something, eat it quick, and then I'd have to go back. I didn't really have a lot of extra time. sometimes I'd bring a lunch. I remember a lot of ham and cheese sandwiches. Like a lot. Apples, sometimes cheese slices. I think string cheese was just starting to be a thing right around that time. We didn't have yogurt very often, but sometimes. Okay, let's see where we're at. Oh yeah, that looks good. Okay, so let's take the rest off. Smells the same. Not a huge fan of onions or chives, but I don't mind them in here. I don't really notice it. It's really hot. I don't know if you can see the steam coming off. Try a little bit. Yeah, they're done. I know some people that would just bring the packets of Mr. Noodles, just eat them, crunch them up, and just eat them right out of the package without putting water on them. I seem to remember there was a story about a kid who did that and then almost choked because something about the noodles got caught in his throat, and then they expanded and then he couldn't breathe or something. I don't remember if that's actually happened or if that's one of those wives' tales. Parents tell kids. Because they don't want them to eat Mr. Noodles for lunch. That's the package. I did it a couple of times, but it wasn't my favorite. It's hot. They're tasty though. I should have looked up some 8th grade biology questions to do. I don't remember a ton about that class. I remember that they had really tall tables, like bar-style tables, and bar stools to sit on rather than like desks. So you could sit or stand. I think we dissected a frog that year. I can't remember if a frog or maybe not a rat. I can't remember. I remember at that high school, when you got to older grades, like grade 12 or senior or whatever, biology, they would dissect a pig. I never went that far with biology. Because I think biology 12 was an elective. I think I only did up to biology 11. I can't remember now. Because there was different courses. There were certain courses you had to take to a certain level. And then there was other courses that you could choose, like, do you want to do more English classes or do you want to do more sciences classes? Depending on what you wanted to do or what university you were trying to get into, there were different classes that you had to take, prereqs or whatever. I do remember I took French 8, and then I took French 9, and then right around there, I took it because it was widely known or whatever known that if you wanted to get into a good university, you had to have a language. Other than English. Or if you wanted to get into any sort of government job, you need to be able to speak both English and French. At least with the Canadian government. But that all started to change, saying that you, especially for university, that you didn't need to have both French and English. And I hated French. I was not very good at it. So, I stopped taking it after grade 9. Almost forgot about my other Pringles. The heat from the soup is making my nose run. It's not spicy. I just mean the temperature. The other thing some people did with the Mr. Noodles is let it cook and then dump all the water out. Just eat the noodles. I do that sometimes. Or sometimes I will make other soups. Like, it's really good with mushroom soup, like cream of mushroom soup. Make cream of mushroom soup just like normal. And then dump in a pack of Mr. Noodles. I haven't done that in a long time. You can also dip your they melt really quick though. You can't leave them in there too long. I'm gonna try and get back to the truck lunches. Maybe next week, we'll see. If you have any suggestions for where I should go, I feel like I've done all the fast food places. It's kind of difficult to do places that aren't very quick. I wouldn't mind maybe doing like a sushi one. But that might have to be here. It's kind of hard to eat sushi in the truck, I feel like. I don't know, we'll see. Maybe I should try it. I don't have very many noodles left. I have to drink it. Oh, it's so hot. Anyway, high school lunches. Like I said, I don't remember a lot of them, but this was a staple. was a little bit older, I'd go to the cafeteria and you could get just a plate of fries for like $2 or $3. So my friends and I would do that sometimes. Or if you brought like a sandwich or something and then just go get fries to go with it. I don't know about your high school, but we never, like, not a lot of people sat in the cafeteria. You could sit in there, but most people would go to classrooms that had teachers that would allow it, or just sit in the hallway, or go outside, or whatever. This is the bees. Bees aren't really my favorite either. Especially the ones in here, they're all dehydrated. I don't know, they just don't taste very good. Anyway, thanks for having lunch with me. It was nice of you to join me. There, now you can see the label. As the whispers fade, let relaxation take over. And until next time.